What up, good people? And welcome to another episode of This Is Dope. It's your man Ahmad here to tell you guys about some of the dope things that I've come across in tech and other areas this week. This episode is really going to be focused on how I am productive and how I do my job as a cloud security architect engineer, working off of an iPad solely. Let me roll that back a little bit. Mostly, I'm able to work off my iPad about 90 to 95% of the time. The only real gap I have is when I need to do things via PowerShell, not command line, because there is an SSH tool. I can SSH to certain things, and do whatever command line things I need to do. However, when PowerShell is needed, that's something I'm not able to do on my iPad because there is not a PowerShell app or something to simulate that environment or anything along those lines on the iPad as of yet. So what I'm going to be going over is really the apps that I use that allow me to work the way I work. This is really going to be a three-part video series. The first couple of parts actually will be really the non-Google apps that I use. And then the last video will be solely based on the Google apps that I use because there's a large number of them and they kind of warrant their own section. The organization that I work for leverages G Suite and Google's suite of products to do a lot of things. So that's the reason why they play such a major role in what I do day to day and, in my work, I guess, for the place that I work for and doing my work tasks and accomplishing goals that I've set forth for myself as relates to what I do for a living. So just a little background on what I do for a living. I am a cloud security architect / engineer. However, I am a senior manager at the firm that I work for. So, it's kind of a mix of both technical and non-technical. I have to do presentations, come up with documentation, hold meetings, take notes, engage with people, I host meetings. But on the flip side of that, I still, log into cloud environments, make configuration changes, investigate things, research things. There's a lot that goes into what it is that I do. So some technical parts and some non-technical parts. So the apps that I'm going to show you are what I use, to help me accomplish both sides of the fence, right? So the first few apps that I'm going to go over with you today will be predominantly stock Apple apps, to be honest with you, because they play so well together, and they're really easy to use. So the apps that I'm going to go over with you today are the desktop class Safari that's come with iPadOS. It's invaluable. It's definitely an invaluable tool. The calendar app that comes stock with iOS. The Up Next Today widget that also comes stock with iOS. The Notes app that comes stock with iOS as well. The Reminders app that comes stock with iOS, as well as Lucidchart, which doesn't come stock with iOS, but is really critical to my workflow as it's a kind of a Visio alternative. So those are the apps that we're going to tackle in this first video. I'm not going to get into too a super level of detail. I'm not really going to get down in the weeds because that would make this video stretch out hours. And so while these videos are still, I guess, a little long, they're not going to be 5 or 10 minutes. I try to minimize, the interactions in the app as much as possible so that, the videos don't stretch out too long. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the apps. So the first app that we're going to get into or really discuss will be the Reminders app. This app is a primary part of my day. It is something that I use at least 5, 6, 7 times a day to keep myself on task. So I'm going to open it up here because I have a today widget. Open up from the widget section. What you'll notice here is that it's a really clean interface, which simplifies a lot. For me, this helps really keep me organized. I was using Things before, which is a great app. However, the one drawback that Things didn't have, which was a deal breaker for me, was that I didn't see where you could specify a specific time to be reminded of something. I saw where you could be reminded on a particular day. I think there was a setting in there where it would even remind you of all your stuff at in the morning at 9 or whatever. But I couldn't do individual reminders based on time, right? Like I couldn't set this reminder. This task to be reminded at 2. This task to be reminded at 2:30, so forth and so on. Reminders will allow you to do this. Now, as you can see here, I have it broken down into lists. You can organize them into lists, which, I have my regular inbox, which is default. I have my TID list, which is for this particular channel, work, and then the hams, which is, the family list. So once I open up the work list, or the work folder, excuse me, there are a number of different lists within the folder. As you can see, there's next gen, there's in front of my work folder, there's a couple other lists for different initiatives that are going on currently at my job. So right now, what's on the screen right now is the today view, which is going to give you a view of what's due today or past due in all of the lists that you have here on the left. We, however, are going to go specifically to the CloudSecOps list. I'm going to create a reminder really quick just to show you how easy it is. Tap on new reminder. You're going to type test 2. I was testing something out, so that's the reason why there's a test 1. Test 2. So that is now a reminder. I can go ahead and you tap on it, and then let me drag this keyboard down. And you click the eye, and here's where you're able to configure everything. So I want to be reminded of this on tomorrow, 26th. All right. And then I want to be reminded, the 26th. I don't want to be reminded at, let's just say 1 o'clock. Do I want it to repeat? Let's see, I want it to repeat weekly. And let's see, when do I want to end the repeat? Let's see, I want to end the repeat, I don't know, November 25th, 2019. These are the details you can set. I can have it remind me of the location, and this is the options for location. You can specify location, or you can put where you're currently near where you are, or you can do remind me when you're messaging someone. It'll choose a person from your contact list. I want to set the priority. I'm going to set the priority, and if I really want to, make this a really high priority or something that I pay attention to or notice every time I'm in here, I can go ahead and flag this. I can switch list if I want to. Oh, and I got out of here. I can switch list if I want to, as well as I can create subtasks, which are great if you have a number of things that need to be completed or steps that need to be completed before you can consider a particular task that you're being reminded of closed. You can create a subtask. So I can add a reminder. Let's see, T1, add a reminder, T2. There we go. And now I'm done. Oh, I don't think it took the T2. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. There we go. And I can also, within a subtask, I can have it remind me on certain days and so forth and so on. So you can really get granular with the Reminders app. It's pivotal to all things that I do, whether it be for work or for my personal life with the family. So it's definitely something that I utilize a lot. Go ahead and delete this one. and you can delete a reminder just simply as doing that. Okay, so that is really the reminders app. As I stated before, I'm not really going to do a super deep dive into each app. It'll take way too much time. The next app that I really want to address will be the calendar app. The calendar app, I use the stock calendar app for a couple of reasons. First, let me say Google Calendar is the app that the organization I work for uses and is a great app. It really, really is. However, I have many more things that I'm doing besides just working. So this gives me access to everything that I need all in one, whether it's work, personal, other things. All the calendars that I have set up with this I can see here. And when I have meetings, I can go ahead and click on it. It'll have the meeting invite notes and things of that nature, and it'll launch the appropriate application. So that is, invaluable in utilizing this app. And like I said, I can, be reminded, have a birthday reminder up top, may have a parent-teacher conference with my son that's, at a certain time. I have a view for all my personal as well as work-related tasks in one pane of glass. And so that helps me be aware of everything and not to miss deadlines and miss appointments and things of that nature. The one drawback with this is that I can't create meetings, or I'm sorry, I take that back. No, actually I can't. I can't create meetings from this because it doesn't read the directory of contacts for my job. I can create personal meetings, but work-related meetings, no. So when I want to create a work-related meeting, I have to go into Google Calendar because it has direct ties into the directory at my job, at the organization I work for. So, I'm able to go ahead and invite everyone I need to invite and set up conferencing and things of that nature. And also, check scheduling conflicts, that whole deal. So that's why I can't solely use this, but I use this the majority of the time. I'll show you guys Google Calendar when I get to the Google dedicated video. So that's really it. A really brief look at calendar and how I use it and why I use it. The next thing I want to address is the Up Next Today widget. It's right here. As you can see, third widget down. It's invaluable. I wake up in the morning, get ready to get my kids up, get them ready for school. And I look at this. This is the first thing I look at so I can know, okay, when do I have my first meeting or first appointment or first anything? And that is, that's something that gives me a jump on the day, helps me plan out my day better, helps me be prepared to attend certain meetings, and also lets me know how much time I have in between meetings as I drop my kids off at school in the morning. So lets me know, how long I have before I need to get back or if I need to hop on a call in the car. So that's really the Today widget, or the Up Next widget in the Today section in a nutshell. The next major app, and this is really major for me, is Notes. Notes. Apple Notes is by far the app that I use the most on my iPad. It's where I jot down information. It helps me organize all the information I jot down. So I'll give you guys a preview. So as you can see here, I have a pretty elaborate folder system here on the side, right? So you have different sections, and the sections are based on your account, right? So I have iCloud. I do have a GCP note section, a Gmail, and a This Is Dope note section that I don't use. These are generated via email, right? Like I have a separate email account for a test GCP account, a Gmail account, This Is Dope account, and another account for a side business that I have. So, but under the iCloud section is where all my folders are. And to be honest with you, when you create a folder, I believe it defaults to go under the iCloud section. This also allows you to be able to sync this information between devices, right? So I would just say keep everything in the iCloud section. So you have all iCloud, then you have just regular unorganized notes, and then you start having your folders, right? These two, the top two, are default folders, right? These, however, the ones below them are things that you create. So like I have obviously in this folder, conferences that I've gone to, and then you can see I place folders in folders, right? So within these folders, you'll have individual items. I can also nest other folders within these folders if I so choose. I believe I've done it here in one place. Yes. You see I have cloud security under the cloud section. Then I place best practices. I have a Palo Alto folder underneath there, so forth and so on, right? So the main benefit for me for folders is the organizational capabilities. I've used GoodNotes. I've used Notability. To me, their layout and their organization is behind that of the Apple Notes app. They're great apps. I love the writing and the ability to take notes, how you can write and draw something and type right next to it. That's something that Apple Notes is missing. I can write something here, I can do a little scribble here, and if I want to type something next to it, I can't. I have to go beneath it. And let's see, go beneath it. And then if I want to write something next to that, I can't do it either. I have to tap below there, and then it's another section. So it's not as smooth or as seamless as I would like it to be, but the organizational part of it is what really keeps me with Apple Notes. And then also, they also have revamped the toolbar, which I love. I have mine minimized. I can move it here or there or there or there. And you don't also have to keep it. I have it auto minimized. You don't have to keep it that way. You can click that there, move it to the middle if you like. Don't have to auto minimize, and it'll slide over to the middle. And then you can move the tray anywhere you want to, whatever is most convenient for you. The tools in the tray are great. You have the ability to, if you long press on the tools themselves, you have the ability to determine various options. So, the Notes app itself is something that Apple improved greatly with iPadOS, and I've found it to be probably my most invaluable tool that, out of all the apps that I use on my iPad. All right, so let's see. We've gone over Notes. I would say the next thing that I really use a lot would be Lucidchart, this app called Lucidchart. Lucidchart itself is a Visio alternative. For those of you who work in any technology-related field or any architecture or network engineering, or even if security engineering and architecture-related field, have seen a Visio diagram. At one point in your life, you've seen it. If you haven't seen it in the organization that you work for, you probably have bigger problems. But generally what's contained in Visio diagrams are the architecture of the organization, whether it be application architecture, your network architecture. If you're in the cloud architecture. You also have application flows, data flows, process flows as well. There are a lot of different things you can do with a Visio diagram. Lucidchart allows you to look at Visio diagrams and also allows you to create Visio-like diagrams. As everyone well knows, there's a Visio viewer for iPadOS. However, it truly is just a viewer. You can't create documents, edit documents, anything along those lines, Visio documents, with that particular app. So that's a problem if you're having to compose or create a diagram or some sort of flow off of your iPad, right? If you want to do that off your iPad, there just wasn't a tool that was able to do that well, I think, before Lucidchart. I've used OmniGraffle from Omni, I think it's the Omni Group. A great tool. I just like Lucidchart better. I think it has more functionality. It, to me, feels more like using Visio, whereas OmniGraffle still has some clunkiness to it, in my opinion. That's the reason why I prefer this over OmniGraffle. So, that's really it in a nutshell for Lucidchart. Valuable tool, great tool, one of my definite go-tos from a workflow perspective. I would say another app that I really, let's see, we've gone over notes, I mean, there's a lot of other things that I use, but they aren't really, they're one-offs, right? They're really one-offs. And you're gonna find that you're gonna use a lot of one-offs, right? I would say, um, the workflow and the apps that you are needing for what it is that you do, there's a good chance that there's something that can help you out in the App Store. It's really just developing a workflow around it. And I would recommend, um, you know, figuring out, analyzing what you do from a day to day basis and finding the apps to accomplish that in the App Store, and then developing a workflow around those apps. Because sometimes you'll have to use multiple apps to do certain things. And as long as you develop the workflow, it's really easy. It's super simple to do it, to be honest with you. But with that being said, these are the only apps that I'm going to go over today. We'll touch on a few more, 5, 6, 7 more next video. Then, as I said before, we'll go over the Google apps, the last video. Hopefully, this was helpful to everyone. And let's go ahead and get back to it. Well, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you guys got a chance to see how I utilize these apps, at least from a surface level, to do what it is that I do. Really just accomplish the goals I've set forth for myself at my current position at the organization I work for. And you can see how the tools, those small subset of tools, like I said, there's 2 other videos, but those tools that I've shown you today really play a vital role in my, my position as a cloud security architect / engineer. And in that, to kind of add some complexity to that, transitioning to more of a leadership role with my new title is senior manager, right? So there's still, as you can see, the especially with the Notes app, helps you organize my thoughts, keep things together. Reminders definitely helps with the to-dos, allowing me to stay on task, meet deadlines, things of that nature, not only from a technical standpoint, but also deliverables I have for, presentations I have to give, reports I have to generate, things of that nature. And then the calendar, as far as calendar and up next, they also, are a part of that whole ecosystem and helping me to stay on task, on time, knowing what it is that I have to do, when it's due, and helping me to meet the expectations and exceed the expectations that people have for what I'm supposed to deliver. Lucidchart is another invaluable aspect. I mean, it's a visual alternative. Not only do I do network diagrams, application flows, data flows, things of that nature on it, I also do process flows, things when we're developing processes and procedures for, our team, our organization. They are, they're done on there, mind maps, things of that nature. So, it's just a really, really useful set of tools. Next video, we're going to dive into some more, another 5, 6, 7 apps that I use that really are invaluable to me. And then, of course, that third video will be just the Google suite of products. So, as I stated before, hopefully this was helpful to everyone. If it was, please go ahead and mash that like button. If you like the videos I place up on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified when I upload a new video, go ahead and hit the notification bell. And most importantly, if there's any comments, questions, suggestions you have, please leave them in the comment section below. All feedback is welcome. And if you have any suggestions on new topics you want me to do, that's welcome as well. Go ahead and leave all that stuff in the comment section below. But other than that, once again, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully everyone has a great rest of their day. Wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. And with that, I'm out.